All right, let's get right back to it. Former President Trump has been indicted here in New York. Republicans are calling it a witch hunt. Democrats saying the rule of law must stand unless it's against one of us. So how political is this going to get? Joining me now, New York Republican Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. Welcome back to the show, Congresswoman.
Great to be on.
So what are people in your district saying about Alvin Bragg? What opinion do they hold of the DA here in New York?
Well, in my district, they're not too happy with Alvin Bragg. In fact, most of us voted for Lee Zeldin because he said his first act would be to fire Alvin Bragg, a guy who put out a statement to his assistant district attorney saying, we're gonna compromise down felonies into misdemeanors and not even prosecute violent crimes under my watch. And that's the kind of guy that we're looking at as we face crime all over this state because of the laws in Albany. And we asked for Kathy Hochul to fire him, and Lee Zeldin said he would do that, so he didn't. So now we've got this gross abuse of power, a malicious prosecution, I think. And this is just showing that the Democrats are willing to weaponize and politicize everything. The IRS, the FBI, the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, even EPA. We've seen those types of people coming out and attacking energy installations. And if you oppose the Democrats, you're going to get tracked down. You're going to get investigated, you're going to get intimidated, and you're going to get arrested and indicted, just like they can indict a ham sandwich. They decided to indict President Trump. But I think there's a bigger reason why the Democrats are doing this. Obviously, they all hate Trump, and they love to see him, in the mugshot and humiliated. But there's another thing. This is salacious, and Donald Trump's a celebrity. Sex sells, and that's what they're doing. This is going to be so politicized, so talked about, and it's going to get so many clicks that everybody's going to grift off this. And I think that's a lot of the reason the Democrats are doing it. And also, it's just a continued humiliation of Donald Trump and his family. But I think in the end, this may backfire on them.
So let's talk about how this might affect voters, because obviously there are a lot of voters, and you've seen it here in New York. We were just discussing this. A record number of Republicans in Congress are going from your caucus here in the Empire State. And people are fed up with the back and forth. They're fed up with the political division. How does this feed into that apathy? How do voters react, not just in New York, but across the country with news like this?
Well, I think voters see that this is politicized. I think they see that, we've got Hunter Biden, everybody's melting down, including the president, claiming that we have to confiscate guns. We have to come out with assault weapons bans. We have to stop letting lawful gun owners protect themselves in our dangerous streets. But yet Hunter Biden actually has a felony that is languishing. No one's ever bothered to prosecute Hunter Biden on a much worse charge than what they're trying to trump up against Trump, no pun intended. So voters are very discouraged, but this is really a dark day because it means that anybody can be prosecuted. If someone wealthy and able to defend themselves, a former president like Donald Trump, is going to get prosecuted in this way and humiliated, so can every single person on the streets of New York and across this nation. This shows that we definitely have selective prosecution, and if you don't fit in with a ruling party, you are going to be under siege. And this is exactly how authoritarian and communist regimes work. I lived in a communist country in the 80s. If you disagreed with the regime, you ended up in a barren island in the middle of the Adriatic Sea, and the country was Yugoslavia.
And if you disagree with the way a cronyist tech company works with members of the federal government in various branches, and if you dare speak out about that, the IRS will come to your house and they will send you a handwritten letter in person. And that's what happened to Matt Taibbi. And if there's not weaponization going on here, I don't know what you call this. It's like parents are being shouted down in their schools. They're being kept out of that system. They're being labeled domestic terrorists. It is all starting to add up for a lot of people, and it's not making things politically better. It further divides the country, and shame on them if there's not a real crime here. Congresswoman Tenney, thank you so much for your perspective and your time tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I agree with you 100%. Thanks so much.
All right. So weaponization, it will not stand.